YouTube? Welcome back to the Allegheny Northern N.scale, and that's right, today we are gonna go through the videos from the Altoona N.scale weekend. This is the annual pilgrimage to all things N.scale, and I noticed a couple of vendors snuck some HO scale stuff, very minimal, but there was still HO scale stuff in there. And so we shun those vendors for bringing that wretched scale into our event. But it is an entire weekend, tables with vendors and layouts, all in N-scale. Stay tuned here. We're going to start off with the videos from some of the layouts, and then we're going to go into the hall from that show.
On your next one, you need to put a little something different. And he's like, what? I went to Spring Creek. I should go on my wall. Don't tell my wife. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Well, Caddy's carrying, that is windmill blade. Windmill blade. But you are getting heavy. You're getting bigger. Jack!
Right, continued good morning to all of our participants, vendors, and attendees.
Dave, I don't know what time Dave's on, but he has multiple customers. It's the thing from Purple Dave's.
So it looks like it's going to make it all the way down. Maybe up beyond.
I've got two, and neither one is any good.
Okay, so the reason I like to go through what I get at the show, especially with some of the, not necessarily the rolling stock, but more for some of the models, is to show you what's out there and what you can do and get for yourself. Because I know that I myself have been sitting a lot of times going, man, I wish they made X. And I can't find it. But sure enough, I go to a train show or a hobby shop, and then I find that item. I find X, and I go, oh, that's what they do make it. And so that's what I hope to do here is to show you that if you are looking for something, there's a good chance that it's out there. You just need to find it. So this first thing that I'm going to show you is 3D printed. And now, where I grew up, river barges were very, very common. And so, yes, they have had barges in the past available in N scale, and they're not quite the size that you would really need for what the real things are. But here's some barges. Now, of course, if you are going to have a barge, and there's different types of barges. You can see there's two different types. There's one that's got the platform here on the end and one that doesn't. You are going to need a tugboat, all right? Because you need to push it, and they do come in different sizes. And so there we are. Now this would be I'm going to call it a river tug because they're a little bit different than something that would be ocean bound pulling in container ships. But here's some extra 3D pieces that need to be put in for the stacks and everything. 3D printed, and obviously it's pretty sizable. So this is a pretty cool model. I'm going to look forward to putting this. I'm actually sure where I'm going to put it. It actually gave me an idea for an additional water scene on the corner of my layout up by the coal mine. So I'm actually kind of excited about this model. But 3D printed nonetheless, which is going to be a kind of a theme here because right now, yes, manufacturers are doing a little bit better getting us N scalers some modern stuff and getting us some cool stuff, but they're not quite there yet with everything that we need for the hobby like some of the other scales have. So this is 3D printing has come to the rescue. So let's talk about 3D printing just a little bit more here as I'm going to bring you out some vehicles. And I'm probably going to have to zoom you in here a little bit because obviously they're not particularly large. But here we go with a little front loader. And yes, that is a front loader with forks. And we have a dozer, which kind of looks like a D6 kind of layout there, which isn't bad. We have a compactor or roller, and then we have an asphalt paver. Now, this asphalt paver looks a little more like something you would see in Europe than you would here in the U.S. We typically don't have the roofs on our pavers here, but what is cool about it is it has the little lasers skis on the side for leveling. So it's actually kind of cool that it has that. But yeah, so those are some nice 3D pickup models. Do I need a paver? No, but it was cool, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. And there is, if I can find them here, there are some other 3D prints. Okay, so we have two excavators, some assembly required, and the booms are in two different positions. So there's one that's kind of got it like it's dumping into a dump truck, which of course we had to have a dump truck, right? So nice little triaxle there. And then there's one where it's sort of kind of, I want to say it's like more mid-range. It's just kind of like getting ready to dump or getting ready to scoop, doing one of the two. It's sitting. So it's almost actually in like a travel position, like it's driving to the next work site. So that's pretty cool. Okay, the next is some vehicles from Trainworx. Now, I will tell you that I am a big fan of Trainworx vehicles. The trucks, the detail, they are absolutely phenomenal. But you can see they're absolutely phenomenally priced. So they are, yeah, they're a tough pill to swallow. But you do get actual road names, and you get just some great detail on them. So every now and then, it's worthwhile to, just break down and buy them. And with having the intermodal traffic that I have, having trucks and trailers is kind of a must. So when you can, I just try to pick them up. They had them pretty prevalent at the show, and I know that some of the hobby shops are already sold out of these items. So when I saw them, I'm like, all right, well, they're here. I'm going to get them. And then these just came out, and they're also already almost sold out. Now they're log trucks, and they're just really cool. I don't need a log truck anywhere on the layout, but it's going to look awesome just riding down on the road. So they had one in blue, which everybody knows is my favorite color. So I'm like, yep, we're going to take that. So added some Trainworx items to the layout. Okay, let's do rolling stock. So I was just perusing a table. I did not see any road railers anywhere. And then I found this little guy all by himself, and he was $10, and I went, "Yep, okay, we're gonna walk out with that." So, only thing I purchased from this particular vendor, he had a lot of rolling stock there, but I saw this and I immediately was like, "Yeah, that's gonna come through." So, did I need once again? Did I need another Deluxe Innovations road railer? No, but they are cool and they are hard to find, and I do run road railer trains, so we'll add that to the collection. Okay, now we're gonna talk about some Aurora models here. Now, these are the first Aurora models that I actually came across out in the wild. So I picked myself up a rail box, and once again, blue, right? GATX. So I am going to take a look at these later. They're not even out of the box yet. This is legitimately from the table to the camera. So I'm going to take those out and we'll take a look at those. And then we're going to bring in some familiar faces here for you guys. So there were quite a bit of scale trains offerings, of course. So picked up a couple of the auto racks. I thought I was done with auto racks, but then I kind of looked at what I had and realized that in order to actually do an auto rack train, I need just a few more. So started off on that collection. And then my primary reason or primary thing that I was looking for was actually coal cars. And yes, as a railroad that has a very large coal mine, I was surprised at how few coal cars I had after I expanded. So picked up 3 more of the Fox Valley coal cars, and coal hoppers, whatever you want to call them. But yep, there's 3 more of those, and they're really nice. So these are I had 3, picked up 3 more, and in case you haven't seen them, out of the box, that's what they look like. So they run really well, and once again, it's just expanding the collection just a tiny little bit. And speaking of expanding, since I am expanding the Rearton Steel Industries, I needed some additional coil cars and some additional flat cars. So made that happen. Once again, sticking with the scale trains options, of course, just because the detail is phenomenal. We're going to look at these Aurora models, but I just don't see anybody who's offering detail quite this good. And then they had one of the flat cars. Good luck if you can find the flat cars, the bulkhead flat cars, because nobody had those. And I was actually looking for a handful more of them. They're not available right now. And then this got in here. This is a Jacksonville Terminal Company. It's one of their little container cars. These cars are really cool. I think I have 3 or 4 of them, so one more to the collection. They're neat. I really like them. They're on par with scale trains. The last thing that I got, and this was one of the prize pickups, and I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna pull out just a little bit here on the camera angle so you kind of see them. And what I want to do is I have that big sort of flat area where it's not quite where the river is, and it's not quite where the pier or the harbor is. And I wanted to do a sort of seaside, like a little fishing type village. And I knew that there were a lot of wood kits that were available for that. And honestly, that's really the way to go. And so I picked up a series of wood kits, and they are all with a seaside sort of look to them. And they are, they actually had them on display there, so you could see them built and painted and weathered and everything, and they look really awesome. So I had some inspiration for what I was going to do with them, and I'm going to place them in that area. So the main line will be behind it, and then this will be in sort of the salt marshy area. So I'm looking forward to building these kits. And I think, I walked out of there with 4 of them. And as I look at the layout, I probably could have walked out easily with 4 more. These kits ranged from $40 to almost $70, depending on the size and the complexity and all the parts you get with it. So yeah, I kind of held back a little bit. There were 2 vendors there that had wood kits that were seaside oriented, so I made sure to get the information because chances are I'm gonna need more at some point. And if I can make it all the way to the next year's show, great. If I can't, I can order them online. So there's that. Okay, let's take a quick look at the Aurora models because I think those are the only ones that are really new to the layout as far as detail wise. So let's take a look at those and see what we have. We'll get a little review. Okay, so out of the package, the initial wow factor is big. Like the cars are very well detailed, and underside detail very nice. End detail, cut levers, brake hoses, etched metal walkways, very crisp printing on the decals. Very nice cars. Okay. One thing, I just got to talk about these couplers too. Couplers, if it'll focus on them, probably not too small, but they're actually pretty detailed themselves. So once you do a little bit of weathering on them, they are going to look awesome. So yes, looks really, really good. I will tell you that they had the screws holding the trucks on so tight that they couldn't really negotiate turns very well on both cars. The blue one was actually a little bit worse. And you could hear it scraping as it was trying to turn. And so, yep, just went in there with a little screwdriver, loosened them up, and they ran just fine. I know that annoys some of you. And yes, if I'm paying $40 a car like I am here, it annoys me too. But like, it's an easy fix. So just, loosen it up and shut up, I guess. This is the point there. Like, it's fine. Metal wheel sets. So really nice. Now, my only gripe on this car at all is that the doors don't open. And I wish the doors opened. That is a very simple feature, but I really, really like it because when I pull the box cars into the industry, I like to be able to open the doors. And the idea behind that is at some point in time, I'm going to have a modeled interior to my box cars. So that's kind of a major loss for me. I think if you're going to go through the level of detail that Aurora did with these, make the doors open. So that is a setback for me. Would I consider not buying more as a result of that? It's 50-50. I think if somebody offered a box car that I wanted at this level of detail and the doors opened, I'm buying that over this. If not, I would probably acquiesce and just go, okay, well, that's fine. But just so you know, the doors don't open, and that's kind of disappointing. Now, I want to show you real quick here. Here's a microtrains, right? Door opens. So it's not as detailed by any stretch of the imagination, but having that functionality is nice. Like it's just a little, you can do something with it. Here is an Athearn car, just for comparison. Now this one does have actually this might be microtrains as well. It does have the etched metal walk platforms on it. And this one, I know this one is definitely an Athearn, and the doors don't open. The details, is pretty much all molded on. So just to give you a little bit of a comparison, yeah, that one was weathered and graffitied, so it looks a little bit, looks a little nicer. But in comparison, like the detail on the Aurora model over the Athearn is it's silly putting them next to each other because it's night and day. Just yeah, I know it's a different size boxcar, yada yada yada. It's fine, but I'm just saying the level of detail is not the same. It's just not the same. So this one, this in a train going by, it's a boxcar. No one's gonna pay attention to it. This sitting on an industry or getting switched somewhere where lots of eyes are looking at it and it's getting seen is going to present a lot better. So they're nice cars. You are going to pay about $40 for them, and just be mindful that the doors don't open. Other than that, they look pretty nice. You'll see them in some trains running in future videos.